They've got pretty much the worst spawns possible to have a fast peek towards the fountain area, but it is a pistol after all, so we'll see if anybody decides to do it. Apex, Body, NBK all facing towards the B area, maybe with some expectation from Fnatic. We'll see where the T's choose to go. There is Shox and Kenny moving towards the connector area. They're going to have an engagement with 3 T's. Decoy, that's a great start from Kenny, yes, and Shox is there as well, but Kenny might kill everybody on his own. He's got support coming in through the door, but Olofmeister will shut it down.
All the bodies there, going down in the connector position. Flusha trying to work this. I mean, he has to work this position. I mean, the bomb is down by the stairs. They can take another route, and they have plenty of time to do so. Flusha still looking to go for the engagement, using the smoke grenade to cut off vision. That's a really awesome play there from Flusha, able to pick up the kill onto Apex as well. And now Body's on a mere 1 point of health, so it's going to be very difficult for him to be able to win this one, as any bullet anywhere, of course, will take him down. He's going to have to find not only the element of surprise, but also the headshots. Such a tall order, but Body is a very capable player. We've seen many insane clutches from him. Can he pull it off? He might have that element of surprise. Ooh, this could be it. There it is. That's number 1. All it requires is one more bullet, placed well from Body, and he can still win this round.
Making his way closer. Flusha with the one grenade he had. Flusha doesn't have any Kevlar. Who knows if it'll make a difference behind the smoke. The smoke's gone. Flusha facing. Just needs that one connection, and he manages to make it. Might have been a burst fire. I think it might have been I think it was a burst fire, but it did the job for Flusha. When the smoke was still down in connector, Body actually fired one shot there, maybe trying to get a sound cue. If anyone was there, very difficult stuff for him. I thought Fnatic had heard it, but you saw Crims got taken down while he was exposed. Kenny, though, great start for his side, but ultimately the pistol goes the way of Fnatic. Not the start you want on the CT side. Everybody forcing, apart from NBK, who's going to leave 1,500 in the bank and have a deagle. I do wonder if he will end up dropping an AWP for Kenny when the buy round comes. And it was there was a long period of time where after losing the pistol, if they weren't successful on the force buy afterwards, Kenny would start on the CT side AWP, no Kevlar. So we'll keep an eye out for that and see if that happens today. It will compromise some of the angles he can hold on a map such as this. You see Device, for example, on the CT side likes to look over smokes towards Fountain. It would make that a lot more difficult for him, that kind of thing. So we'll keep an eye on Kenny's approach in the coming rounds.
And GT here with their force buy have just actually been playing really passively towards A. They only just rotated an extra member towards B, so likely expecting what is the most common anti-force buy, which is to go up A long, but that hasn't happened. That's perhaps the timing you would expect, so that explains why we see Shox now helping Body towards B, but still without any information. Fnatic playing this really slow at the moment, and again, G2 is just about the waiting game and guessing correctly, and B is easier to retake than A, so it is going to make a lot of sense to also stack more players there if you are in doubt as to where the T's are going. But now Fnatic are going to make the run up to A long, so looks like they'll be going A after all.
35 seconds left. G2 camping. The tents are up. They've got the tent poles out on the A site and the B site, but mostly A. 27 seconds, and smokes are starting to go down, and most people are towards long. I smell disaster, but there are guns out. Gunpowder is the smell for G2 on the receiving end for the most part. Kenny doing what he can. That's a nice shot to Olofmeister. 14 seconds left, 2 CTs. The bomb is on the floor, and there's still a rotation coming in for the CTs. 10 seconds now. That bomb has to go down. 7 seconds remain, and they're going for the frags. Body running away with 10 seconds, and the bomb can't go down. It's too late! What is he facing? Oh, he's got it down. What? How did he get it down in time?
Just in the nick of time, almost nothing left on the clock there. The Body has to go for this with 10 points of health, and his prospects aren't very good. He will be down by Crims. But yeah, that was a very prolonged affair, a bit too prolonged. Fnatic definitely cutting it close, and you always have to be careful when you don't leave yourself much time in an anti-force buy round to actually get a bomb site, and it almost bit Fnatic in the backside in this occasion, but they will be claiming the round after all. Did incur some damage though.
Man, I thought they'd lost it.
Yeah, it was so close, wasn't it? So incredibly close. I think there's exactly 3.5 seconds left when he was able to actually get the plant.
NBK hasn't bought a single thing. 34.50 is what an AWPer would like in terms of money on a round such as this, so do look for NBK to drop that AWP in the next round. For those of you on Go TV, I would have to go for Kenny S on the CT side, and for Fnatic on the T side. How about you, Dan? Who are you picking?
I'd probably say for Fnatic either Flusher or JW, and for G2, I was like, I mean, you can't not choose Kenny S really, to be honest. you just can't not do it, James. You have to do it.
You can't not do it. You heard it here first.
Double negatives, let's go.
DDK. Yeah, so Kenny for me, it's never a bad idea to keep an eye on body as well. Known to have the odd spectacular performance for his side. So now it's money-making territory for Fnatic. Olofmeister and Flusher with dueling Mac 10s, making some extra cash. Both in the red though. They don't want to buy their armor again. 6 and 2 HP.
Yeah, there's good round selection from... Ooh, Mac 10 collected. There's a good round selection there from Fnatic. The Monster Rush really good on the third round after you've broken the force bite.
So Kenny's bought his own AWP and NBK has bought one as well. You don't often see him. Nope, he's going to drop it for Shocks. So that's very interesting. Kenny indeed will go AWP, no Kevlar. And in this situation, it's weird. Kenny's got the most forward spawn, so he may feel compelled to go towards the fountain. But if the grenades rain in, he's going to be dead. Kenny fears not. He will face, fortunately for him, only flashbangs are there. And in the meantime, Shocks is towards short B.
And a quick repositioning there from the man Kenny as just going to a more safe position around the toilets, more passive. And it's really hard to, if you don't know what the pace of your opponents is going to look like, it's really hard to understand what that information means just yet. Generally, as the match goes on and you get a context of understanding of how a team has been pacing and what kind of rounds they've been going with, what their economy is like and so on, that gives you a much better idea how to predict what you can see, with the information you get early on to predict what the round is going to look like from your opponent's perspective. But in this case, it's a bit too early, so I like that G2 aren't really making any guesses or gambles. They're actually just saying, you know what, we'll just play passively and just see how Fnatic wants to play the early rounds.
We have not mentioned that Olofmeister is also AWPing. He was holding a line through Monster, which has just been smoked off by G2, again using their smoke grenades with good timing. And let's not forget, let's just note, G2 right now have 3 more smoke grenades, 2 of which have just been deployed on the 40-second mark. They're really doing a good job of ruining the timing of Fnatic, but the push comes in regardless with flashes. First pick takes body down. Shocks, will he get traded by JW? He will. There are CTs on the high ground, NBK on the low. 3-on-3 make it 2 now as Fnatic look to plant the bomb.
And Kenny coming in with no armor to speak of. That hurts, getting tagged very heavily by that M4, but it's going to be Apex who's able to do some damage there, trying to pry open this defense on this the B bomb site there from Fnatic, but really unable to get enough work here for Kenny to realistically, without again any armor or grenades, make an effort for this one. So it's going to be another round for Fnatic, and it's going to be quite sad for G2 in these early days, but they do have a pretty big round loss bonus building up, so we'll likely see some pistols along with Kenny S's AWP in the next round, and that makes the next round very dangerous actually. Fnatic must be careful because it might be a round where G2 take some big risks.
For those of you at home, you will note that Kenny ran towards long. There are 2 reasons, at least, to save in that direction rather than go through the toilets. Number 1, if there is a T short B, of which he saw a T short B, and if he runs through the toilets, that player will hear him running, and then he will be hunted. But obviously, also, he does not want to be exposed to connector. So just bear that in mind. If you're running around the toilets, outside the toilets area, you can be heard from short B and the graffiti positions, indeed. Well, there we go. It's a 4-0 start for Fnatic, a great start. Bear in mind, this is a best of 1, and the loser goes home. The loser does not get to play in the live arena. So it's Kenny with the AWP. He's bought some Kevlar around it, and so on some maps you might see some aggression, some fast plays over past maybe one of the more difficult ones. While he's towards long, you see JW getting very aggressive around the B bomb site, having a look, trying to identify what G2 might be up to. Meanwhile, Kenny's on the move, starting to move around the toilet area. But this harassment will continue from JW. Patience elsewhere for Fnatic.
Yeah, I really like that push from JW. And he knew the exact right time to back away because, of course, you can get a lot more. And I think a lot of people would be very encouraged, like, oh, I've gotten this far and I spotted no one. I'll keep going. I'm in the site. But you've got to be really, really careful of how the angles start to open up to you in that sense. But he has a very good sense of that. And we'll see Fnatic now. 50 seconds left, starting to develop more map control towards the toilets position. But indeed, there's still players lurking for G2 around A long, which could end up wrapping behind them if they're not careful. And Fnatic are very spread apart at the moment, and that is a big problem for trades. There's no trade there onto Apex, and that's an AK collected. Apex also has Kevlar, so things, there's 30 seconds, Fnatic will commit to B, but there's an AWP and an AK to work with, and another frag from Apex. This is a dangerous round, a very dangerous round now for Fnatic.
But they haven't quite yet identified what is happening. Kenny just now rotating towards B after making sure nobody's in front of the A site, being very careful indeed. I'm sure he won't fully commit, but the rest of his team can. They've got a man advantage. Apex has got a smoke grenade, which may come into play. Body and Shox almost in a crossfire around that graffiti position. So how do you make this work, G2? They could boost Kenny over the top of the wall to look towards the monster position. Shox has been tagged in the meantime. Olafmeister on the site. JW's got to do a lot of work with the AK here. Dennis as well with the other one. And now it's Kenny alone. Can't quite get the job done. And Fnatic will prevail. 3 players surviving for the Swedish side. They won't pick up the second AWP. 4K for JW in that round. But now it's buy time once more for G2.
Yeah, and I think Fnatic lucky not to lose a lot more players there. A great start from them, but once more we see the full buy for G2, and it's going to be interesting now if they start to mix things up, because again, as I mentioned, they have opened up the match, playing CT side very passively and trying to avoid risks, essentially allowing the run of the map to Fnatic and just seeing how they want to play it. But now we might see different setups, and indeed we have more players towards B here. G2 perhaps anticipating a play towards that B-bomb site, a very fast one, and Kenny's alone here towards A, gets taken out very quickly, thrown down the stairs by Flusher. This is a great start here for the Fnatic side. What are G2 going to do?
Even if Kenny got the kill, horrible position for him. JW with the off angle towards the door on short B. Olafmeister outside Monster, so he was trapped. The numbers game too great for Fnatic. Not the start G2 wanted. High risk position for Kenny. And at 0-5, these are disadvantages that they really don't need. 4 versus 5, over a minute on the clock for the Swedes. Lining up outside the B bomb site at present. JW looking for anybody heading towards Connector. Apex might meet him later on. Shox has made his way in towards B, and NBK is making his way there as well. So G2 putting 3 of their 4 players into the B bomb site. 40-second mark for the Swedes.
Yeah, that's a very good read from them. This is a great position from Body. Will they expect it? Going for the peak there, preemptively. Unlucky for him, but Shox is there to pick up the pieces, gets 2 in return, slowing things down here for Fnatic. They don't have all the time in the world, and NBK picks up 1 more, can't get the second, and now it's down to Apex in this 1 versus 2. Fnatic will have time now to get the bomb down, although Apex is fast to position. There's the bomb, but JW, quick to the trade, is going to ruin the chances there for G2 to steal away another round, or their first round even.
You can see what this means to Kenny. 6-0, and they're almost on the buy between the buy. They could stretch it, but it would be a difficult one for them. A timeout from G2. That was so awkward as well. With the 4 players remaining, the only person with a smoke was Apex towards long. They would have loved the smoke in that long position, had mollies as well, but you never know when is the perfect time to throw those grenades, of course. Not winning the duels, G2. Nobody on more than 5 kills on the G2 team, but we're only 6 rounds in. This is round number 7, about to get underway.
And with teams of this caliber and teams with this amount of experience, especially G2, it's never, like, no matter how bad it could possibly look, it's like really never over until it's over. They're very capable of grinding so many rounds together if they just get themselves, you know, that start, that first bit of momentum. So it's definitely a frustrating beginning for them, but it's early days still. And we'll see what their decision is going to be now as the timeout has expired. And G2, they don't really have great money here. And I actually can see that 1 player, in fact, we are getting some buys here from G2. So looking to go for the full buy without optimal money. So generally, each player had around $4,000 and opted to go for the buy. We'll see some FAMASs here, just a general lack of utility with this. And you would expect either them to stack towards one part of the map to try to mitigate that disadvantage, or go aggressive to try to take the map into their own hands very quickly. Because if you just let Fnatic play their game, they're just going to outgun you. They have more utility. You can't really allow that situation to happen.
Technical pause at present. And indeed, it's going to be a difficult buy for G2, which tells me it's going to be an aggressive round from them. We'll see where they're able to get something done in that respect. Without any money for an AWP, it's going to be difficult to be aggressive towards the fountain position, but we've seen a number of setups, but they're mostly AWP-oriented, so we'll find out what G2 choose to do once this technical pause has come and gone.
There's a possibility that they may be not going for a half buy here because they feel as though it might be a bit too predictable to do so, and it's easier to get an aggression if Fnatic aren't expecting just a full buy in this situation. That might be one reason why they've done this, because we won't be seeing an AWP. And as you said, you know, it's the aggression kind of has to come, right? They have to do it.
Let us just say this is a really bad start to this match for G2, and you can see it on the faces of the Frenchmen, on Shox's face, on Kenny's face. Even when Kenny's long dead in the round, it's like he's the one playing the round when it doesn't go their way, and that's beautiful to see. So in this technical pause, a lot to talk about. 1,000-yard stare on body.
Yeah, it must be pretty rough to just be there. Especially, again, it's very annoying if you are in that position where you have essentially not been able to get anything going just yet, and you're very confident given the correct chances that you will be able to get your game going, but then there's like a big pause, and you just want to get into it and kind of eliminate those bad memories by formulating some good ones, by putting some rounds together, getting some kills on the board. But instead, G2 are just they've made the choices, they've made the decisions already, I think, as to how they want to play the round. I think that's evident by the fact that they have already gone for a full buy, so we know where their money's going, so they have a plan. So now it's just a case of just waiting to get going, really.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Body pressed F2, which I assume is the auto buy.
Oh, okay, well then...
Auto buy button, but everyone else has bought as well. So, you know, and I think beyond that there's a tech pause. You see Crims is standing up, and he's not on the server right now. So we'll see what's happening there. But that's another thing. I think auto buy is in your config by default, right? Why don't they just remove it from their config? Like, what pro needs auto buy in their config? I don't know why you have that. I wish I remembered the line, so I could just mention it. But I mean, it's not in my config because just no. I don't even have F keys, but I still don't have it in my config.
What do you think the players are thinking about as they sit there, twiddling their thumbs, unable to play?
Dennis is thinking, why isn't there Nando's in Poland? And G2. I think Shox is probably running through every round that's happened in his head and thinking about every situation he's been in for the entirety of every single round and what he's witnessed on his teammates' teams as well. But he's thinking, I'm so glad that, you know, James was there for me when my mouse broke and he gave me my mouse, and, you know, I'm going to really do a good job for him now. But I can just imagine Shox is like fully in the zone, just thinking about what can he glean from any habits of Fnatic in the previous rounds. Is there any repetition, anything that we can change to exploit or anything? Well, if Mice is like, when's my next advert, man? When's my next advert? That's what he wants to know.
Who's that guy that made the Olaf Meister song again? I forgot what his name is.
Same guy who made a DDK song.
I know. Maybe he's wondering.
There is a
when
DDK
the next
song out
is
there. What's it
come
called? People can search for it.
I'm not sure.
Just search DDK song, I'm sure it'll come up.
Yeah, right. It's actually quite. The guy's ingenious. I forget what his name is. I'll figure it out at some point and throw it in there.
By the way, right, when this game resumes, and we're next on the players with NBK in the shot, his keyboard is pretty cool. Like when he presses buttons, I like the stuff that goes on in there.
Oshinsinko, that was his name, I think. Oshinsinko? Oshinsinko, something like that.
That sounds Polish.
He might be Polish, actually. I'm not sure.
Right then, are we good to go? Crims is having a great time. Crims is loving life right now. Crims looks like he's in a death metal band, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, that's before you see the tattoo as well. Just adds to it.
Flusher also, you know, when he has like the beard is in full god mode, beard mode. He's very much a part of that as well. Actually, that said, you know the Flusher GIF from that Fnatic video from ages ago, where he's just nodding. I kind of wish that he had the beard for that video, because I think it'd just be so much better.
So someone very quickly tweeted me the DDK song. I have retweeted it. So
Oh, DDK.
is that how it goes?
Henry G knows all the lyrics to that. I don't.
Wait, shall we just hold on?
Are you going to play it on the stream?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Bear with me, people.
Wow.
I've only got 3G in here, so let's see if it works.
This is brilliant. It's pretty good.
Oh, wait. It's an advert. It's an advert. Hold on. Hold on.
Cut the sound.
Okay, here is a DDK song. Oh, wait, that's copyright, isn't it? I can't play that.
Yeah, you can't play that.
But it's like, oh, I'm guessing it's DDK.
Yeah.
Well, it's on my Twitter, so check it out. So you do wonder, right, when you have a technical pause like this, like what it does to. I mean, there's one thing like momentum of the people winning, right? But bearing in mind the loser goes home, it is Eurostar for these French boys if they lose this match. I do wonder, like, you know, this can be a time for reflection and thinking about stuff, right? But then there's a point where you can only do so much when 6 rounds have elapsed. And then maybe you start to lose focus.
Yeah, that's the thing, because you do pump yourself up, you know, mentally and before you go into the game, and then to have like such a oh, hello there,
Hello
and to have such a
your
pause.
cable is in front of your chest.
Dear, yeah.
Come on, man.
I do that because during the cast it's more comfortable. So usually I wasn't expecting. I wasn't ready, James. I wasn't prepared. For that transition.
The cable weighs all of like 3 grams. But anyway. We are going to go to a short break until whatever this technical pause is unpaused. See you back here soon. welcome back to the game. Apologies for that, and apologies for being unable to play the DDK song, but it is out there for you. You can search for it after the game, of course, because it's 6-0 to Fnatic. G2 have gone for the Force Buy. Body he had a FAMAS before in armor. Now he's gone for M4 and no armor, so it's got worse for him, and that is very curious indeed. 3 Ts in the connector area. The CTs can come for a fight. They're trading. Body somehow got a kill, and he's still alive without any armor. He's completely naked, Dan.
And that absolutely sucks, doesn't it? Really tough here for Fnatic. Oh, gets caught there by Kenny. Has the smoke going down just in the nick of time to keep Dennis alive. And the push will continue. Nice entry there from JW, but it was not without cost. Down to 19 health, and in fact, he's going back here. There's a lot of time just perhaps checking it as a fast flank. But now committing back into the A site as Dennis watches over bank. 2 players there, though, to deal with, and it's going to be very difficult for Dennis to find the right timing. This one, the second as well on the first bullet, but Body arrives up the stairs in the nick of time. The
Body
hero
with the 2K. Body being the operative word because he is in the birthday suit. When do you see M4 no Kevlar in any round? That is very curious indeed. And I can only imagine, I can only assume that that is an accident and like, screw it, let's just go with it. Because why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Yeah, it's really, really unusual. Yeah, you'd almost always favors, for example, you just Kevlar in the CZs.
And anything.
It's just really anything. Yeah.
Kevlar and a bag of sausages.
UMP, Kevlar, anything. Very strange. Either way, it's going to put G2 on the board with 1 round. Fantastic. And especially after such a long technical pause where perhaps they were stewing in their thoughts and in their failures perhaps earlier in the half, and now they get to kick things off in the right way. Pressure into connector as well here to try to steal away some frags early into this round. RG2 as Fnatic will eventually creep their way up to that position, and this is essentially the biggest map control play that Fnatic are making at the start of this round. So this could be this could determine a lot, let's say, in this round, how this goes.
Flusher taken down, but there's more fighting to be had in this area. Shox is pushing. He gets going to catch JW with a grenade in his hand. What a trade! How about that for a combo? NBK, though, still in the B bomb site. Moving back was towards short of a smoke towards Monster, and Olofmeister's lurking, but all he can do is lurk for the time being. 3-on-3. Dennis leaving the connector with the bomb. Crims around the balloon area. Olofmeister outside long. What is the play?
I think Olofmeister got a wallbang from this position into the connector area to get the frag there.
No.
I'm pretty, because he was standing there, and I'm pretty sure the CT died in connector. That's interesting. Maybe we can get another look at that later.
No.
That would be pretty insane, because now we're on a 3 versus 3.
I refuse to believe it, Dan.
Well, perhaps we'll have evidence proof for you. The villainous Olofmeister looking to take over this B bomb site very soon here, looking for the entries.
Another awkward spot for G2, right? Kenny's got a smoke. He's in connector. Apex has a smoke. He's in CT spawn. NBK doesn't have any grenades whatsoever and has left B entirely. So G2 have chosen to gamble, put the numbers together, but Kenny's above connector. So why has he made his way towards A? Kenny can't see anything around there. So I don't know why they've kind of figured things out to be A instead of B, and now the bomb goes down to 3.
Perhaps they're just hell-bent on just playing the retake as the worst-case scenario, and well, that is going to be very difficult. This forward position towards Sewers is so strong there from Crims, and already Olofmeister taking Apex out the picture with a lovely HE grenade. Oh, the timing is good for Kenny, but he can't quite connect the shot quickly enough, and now it falls to MBK against 3. The odds are very much against him here, and great angle there from Dennis. Easy frag for him. The round will be Fnatic's, and what a round it is because it will be resetting G2. It was such a hard-fought journey to get that 1 round on the board, but that's where it ends now, for at least for the next round or 2, one would imagine.
My only guess as to why they rotated is because they didn't believe... Here we go.
Oh, okay, that's still a very sick shot.
That's not a kill, though.
Oh, there's
the kill.
Boom. And how ironic to get it onto Body as well, of all
My
people.
body's telling me, yeah. So I think the rotation towards A is because they didn't believe with 35 seconds that Fnatic would be on their way towards B. And Fnatic were not far, they're kind of in the area from T-spawn where you throw a Molotov towards short B on that 35 second mark. And that's a big gamble, but they chose to do it, and it paid off. Unpause is coming in very quickly indeed. So G2, they have been reset. This is worst case scenario. This is memories of NIP Vega Squadron or he's bringing up the situation. You have a massive deficit, you win all of one round, you get wiped out the round afterwards. Fnatic looked good for 10-1 that.
Yeah, it's probably the worst spot for this to possibly happen, being so late. And I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how G2 of this situation. It's going to require quite the creativity from them. And are they going to go for a full save? Looks like
NBK is AFK.
Not be live, yeah.
And Dennis is AFK. And everyone's at T-spawn. So something is going on. Okay, back up. Back that ass up. When did you last say that then?
I don't tend to say that.
No?
The phrase really doesn't really fit me, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah, how about you?
7-1 in favour of Fnatic. Just the one round for G2. Just the one round. Those baguettes looking pretty dry down. Looking pretty hard. Looking pretty
crumbly.
Pretty inedible.
Nothing worse than that, just because there's so much promise when you see a baguette. It's nothing better than a fresh baguette.
When you've got a good jar of honey, you want some fresh bread. You want some bread that's still warm from Le Bakery. You don't want no hard baguettes. Nobody wants the hard baguettes. Time is going down. So G2 have spent some cash. Let's not forget their loss bonus is in the pits, it's in the doldrums. They've pretty much gone for the full buy. And the full buy will comprise CZs, a P250, a 5.7, the odd grenade here and there. Gambles must be taken by G2, and the gamble for now is 4 players into the B bomb site, but Fnatic will play it slow.
Oh, Kenny has some burn damage there. Actually a lot of damage, down to 39 health already, and I think Shox took some fall damage, or a teammate shot him, one of the two, because he took damage very early into the round. So already it doesn't look too great on the health there for G2, stacking towards B at the moment. They may decide to just hold B, and if Fnatic go A, they may just opt to try to save and play maybe even aggressive exits, as they can then use these pistols and the armors into the next round. But I like this play, going with the flashbang, trying to isolate one of these players, and they'll be successful, taking down Olofmeister. That's the AWP there onto Kenny now. Perhaps there's a chance to do something here, but Fnatic are quickly approaching the A site. They know what's up.
You see the instant reaction, the natural reaction from JW to try and cut off some of these players. He can hear the rotation towards B. Will he go for the flank? That leaves only 3 of his players on the A bomb site, so he better hope his flank is good. But Body is waiting for the JW flank. We'll see how that goes. In the meantime, Body will frag him, and that's another AK picked up, and now there are 3 Fnatic players left. The bomb's not down. They don't know if it's safe to plant for the toilets area. Apex moving towards long now. He could be a nasty surprise. Kenny with the AWP. I'm not sure if you want to challenge him. He'll get saved by Body. What a perfect play from Body. Leaving Flusher alone. It has fallen apart for Fnatic. It has meant disaster. Again, 2 options for JW, but a smart play from Body. I don't know if he got a sound cue. JW was standing still. He might have heard him get into position in the first place. But the play from Body, the steal of the AK, comes into play to save Kenny, and they get an AWP. They get all the spoils of that round. 2-7. There's still a chance for G2 in his first half.
Yeah, and it's really interesting too, because I think Fnatic committed into trying to take the frags and sort of committed themselves into then what may have been a bad play as they were unable to get the bomb down. So a chance indeed for G2 here as we get Flusher going down very quickly into Connector. And we can see Fnatic have been a team that have put a lot of emphasis on Connector very early on into these rounds. And G2 are playing fairly passively here, but with 2 players on the B-bomb site, perhaps not for long there as JW just walks in and takes Shox away. Shox did not even get to see JW. I think the flashbang was perfect. That's a great start here for Fnatic, and the only thing for them really is that they don't have many grenades at this point, so they may be somewhat committed to using this forward position that they already have in the sewers to actually just go into the B-bomb site and not really risk testing the ground towards A, which is where Kenny S is, so that would be wise. Don't go to Kenny S right now.
This has to be a B play for Fnatic. The fact that Dennis is just looking out for any flanks, and they've got no presence towards Fountain, towards Balloons, towards Long, it has to be a B play for the Fnatic side. Body and NBK, will they be heard? Looking over the smoke. If he jumps, that's a wrap. JW seems to know, and that's another kill. G2, are they going to be reset again? Is it that grey button on the Super Nintendo being smashed, being fisted by Fnatic, moving into the B bomb site? What he picked up as well. The numbers down. Kenny's got a lot of work to do in his Apex position. He could get double peeked, and indeed he'll get triple peeked. A great play by the T's. They've got Apex. He's the last man standing. 25 seconds to plant this bomb. Can Apex stop them? Moving towards Monster. Dennis with an off angle. I think he's heard the position. Maybe he hasn't, but either way, it's going to work out. They knew Apex was outside the B bomb side. The rotation of the B towards A meant life would have only got harder, even if he got that kill, but no. G2 reset again.
Yeah, Fnatic playing really well here. And I love just, again, you can see that JW is so familiar with the metagame because, you know, he sees that smoke from the CTs and he understands, he's like, okay, they're a man down, they're a proactive team, so there's a strong likelihood with this smoke, because I know these positions so well, that they might go for a booster. I'm going to give it a go, and he was right that time around, and basically gets 2 kills. It's 5v3. That's a really great stuff there, really great play, sorry, from JW, and Fnatic, such a crucial round. Keep resetting G2. How frustrating it must be for G2 to constantly be reset as they are.
Fourth by territory again for the Frenchmen. And again, they've got 4 in B. Maybe playing against expectations. Well, they stacked 4 people last time. But now the CTs are starting to back off towards A. Apex around the bogs, also known as toilets, also known as lavatories. Although we haven't really inspected the toilets themselves. Who knows what's in there? Maybe it's just urinals. I don't know. Maybe the female toilet is full of shiwis. G2 now in the A site, but they can only guess as to what might be going on. Apex with the CZ on the off angle. You can see him in the X-ray there. It is an expected position. Fnatic again, they're playing the clock down. They've got 2 Molotovs left, Fnatic. The flashbang is there, the 2-man spray down from body. Fnatic, perhaps they're going too slow once more.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to save this one. 30 seconds. Apex waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and in the back he'll come in for the second. And that's a lot of guns collected there for G2. Again, able to win these rounds with pistols. And it's funny, actually, because I think, you know, always with Fnatic, they were never a team that you would say, this is a team that has the best examples of dealing with pistol play, you know, force buys and so on. They have gotten a lot better at it, but you can see it is still problematic for them. They're so good in these buy rounds, and that does pose an issue, but their money's finally been broken. They're down to pistols now, so there's a real opportunity now for G2 to get the momentum back. This is their window of opportunity. All they must do now is defend what is going to be quite some aggression towards this B bomb site.
Looking like a much faster round from Fnatic. There are Molotovs for the CT side. They're not willing to peek into the monster position. Body around the pillar. Oh, how did that happen? Shox is there. He's got support as well, but he's going to get picked off eventually after a 2K. And NBK, he's in the red. He can only do so much. Advantages for Fnatic somehow. It's a force buy from them, but they've only picked up 1 rifle so far. There are guns to collect and smoke down on the Molotov. Apex left, then it's Kenny versus 2 after picking Flutter off. Around Monster, around the pillar. How does he not get traded in this situation? Flashbangs into the site. He's got a defuse kit, there's still time, but he needs to move quickly. How does he avoid a double peek? If he fires 1 shot, surely the second player faces him. There's Crimson, spots Dennis around the corner, close, but not quite, not fast enough for that shot to go off on an AWP. How is this happening? I feel like the only rounds G2 have won have been force buys, but they just can't string rounds together.
Yeah, man, I was so close, I could see it in my mind's eye. There must be like milliseconds until Kenny has pulls the trigger for the no-scope there, and it's Kenny, yes, I feel like he's definitely hitting that shot if he just has a tiny, tiny amount of extra time. You can see Dennis here, and just, yeah, very quick from Dennis around the corner with the spray, really well played from him. And you can see just so much, like in the Fnatic camp here, so just smiles all around. They're really feeling it at the moment. And nothing but frustration here, again and again for G2. It's such a hard-fought battle for them. Nothing seemingly going their way. And once again, back to a horrible buy. It's so common here for G2 in this match. They just don't have money to play with. And here goes the play from them. 3 men around the Suez position. Looking for Fnatic to take over Connector and Suez perhaps, which has been fairly common for them. But Fnatic, you can see they read the money situation, and they're trying to play this defensively. They understand what G2 want to do in a round like this.
Now Dennis is looking to move through Connector. Crimson Flusher on the high ground, and might want him a bit closer to Connector before you make your way through to the other end. But now Connector's being secured. Olofmeister can go towards Short B if he wants to. Dennis wondering what the hell just happened. He's in the red. He's in 3 HP. He's in 3 HP. And again, 50 seconds left for Fnatic. not really anywhere close to a site at the moment. JW spotted, he's on his own around the playground area, pulling out a Glock. That's less than ideal, but Apex is going to back off. They know that they can capitalize on the time pressure of Fnatic. Flusher and Crims, they're over towards A. They can try and secure things. Olaf Meister towards B, but where will the bomb go? 33 seconds remaining, and there are 2 CTs left. Dennis and JW just moving past the fountain now.
And this is such a typical Fnatic round to me. You got a situation where, again, it's sort of, you're playing against a force buy, and Fnatic are splitting up all across the map, trying to make entry frags on both bomb sites at the same time, creeping up here. The bomb's down by T-spawn, and that's just so Fnatic to me. Just a bunch of players who are incredibly skilled, all trying to make plays at once, and that's why they can be so hard to play against and deal with, because it's unpredictable. Like, you don't know where they're going to be coming from. They're going to take multiple 1v1s at the same time, and again, the players are so individually comfortable and skilled that they are very capable of winning all those 1v1s. It's just chaotic, isn't it? And although Body will survive with this AWP, it looks like, although there is a hunt, so maybe it's not all that guaranteed at all. There's some time here for Fnatic to find him. He really needs to hold on to this. It's 19 health on him. Oh, his back is exposed. Oh, that is, oh my god. Playing with, oh no! Playing with our hearts, James.
Look at Dennis, he's like, LOL! Did you see what I just did, LOL?
He's been laughing the entire game, every single round. And obviously he's been the guy to get some of these frags right at the end, so...
Dennis is a mentalist.
Yeah.
We might be looking at a 12-3 half. That's finally, Fnatic have got the consecutive round over the force buy. Tactical timeout from G2, but what tactics are there with $2,000 in the bank? Kenny appears to be going for the force buy. So I smell a 12-3, Dan. I smell a 12-3.
Yeah, it's not looking the best for G2, that's for sure. You can see that Apex, you know, a lot of passion and emotion going in there. Shock's looking very calm, very focused, very composed under this trying situation. Let's see if G2 can bounce back. Yeah, a couple rounds can still be theirs. A couple more rounds, that is. Double Mac 10 here for Fnatic. So this is really interesting because they have so often been playing these types of rounds slowly, taking their time with rifles, but now they're going to change the pace. And this should catch G2 very off guard. This is the first time they're going to do this.
Yeah, they smell weakness, desperation on the French side, and they are not wrong, but they are not visible at the moment. Well, they can't see, now they can, and they're getting most of the kills. These CZs are dangerous, and by no means is this round over just yet, but more harassment coming in. Olaf Meister managing one more kill. The rest of the T's outside the B bomb site. Kenny's alone. Starting to back off, but Flusher will slow down somewhat for the 11th round for Fnatic. 1 round remains in this first half, and how do they not make it to 12-3? A very bumpy half for both teams, however, it has gone away of Fnatic in a landslide score-wise, but those anti-force buys have been quite unreal, and I do feel like I feel like G2 have only won force buys.
I feel like they've only had force buys, James. I feel like that. I was just wondering how many rounds have they just played with pistols. I feel like it's such a high number. It's really crazy. Again, of course, you know, they're relying on the pistols here. It's the last round of the first half, buying with everything that they have. And Fnatic going with the same round, I think, as the previous one, with the Mag 10 set first to AW Wolf 4, and the forward smoke actually gives a solid chance here for G2 to hold. Fnatic have to reassess the situation now. They can't go into B. That was the initial plan.
Yeah, we've lost one guy. We don't need to commit to this. We have all the advantages in this last half. We know it's a force buy. Obviously, it's the last round, and they don't got to cash. They could take the AK. We've got 4 more.
Well, poor Kenny will lose his head there, and he was trying to get some information, but with a minute left on the clock, it's still very hard to predict what Fnatic will do, and they're sort of doing the Fnatic thing again. They're very spread out at the moment, and this is essentially them trying to... They understand that they're going to be up against pistols, so if they spread out, they can have a bunch of opportunities to see a CT push somewhere, and then they'll get the kill. That's, of course, you know, how they're thinking about it, or perhaps we'll have Flasher here who can walk into a bomb site, then the bomb can move towards A. So, again, Fnatic love to play in this style, and it might work out really well for them in this round, and I guess we'll have to see. There's always a threat with these G2 players when they have these pistols.
If Flusher doesn't see Apex, Oh dear. NBK and Shocks are rotating. Flusher will hear this, so he can send the rest of the team towards that B bomb site. Body now going for a short B push. What is the read from the CTs? Do they go towards A or do they go back towards B? Apex making his way through connector. They know it's a B play now, but this time, or is there time to plant the bomb? 7 seconds remain. It's too late. Olafmeister can't do it. NBK with a 3K from the high ground. A desperate 4th round for G2. Is it enough for them to have any semblance of a comeback in the second half? The pistol will be key. It will be crucial. It's a must-win for G2.
And that round was actually, I mean, again, you know, Fnatic, the style there is going to be very slow, but what an amazing round from MBK to get. I mean, I think he has 6 kills in total in the half, and of course that round he got 4, so really nice work from him to do so. Ooh, wow, yeah, MBK, absolute beast here. Look, the last shot is phenomenal there from MBK. I honestly don't know how the hell you can predict the spray in that way, but he's pretty good at this game.
Yeah.
So
the round was won anyway at that point because of time, but it's a very nice kill.
But it's
indeed.
nice, James. It's super awesome.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that might be that might be the last flash of skill we see from G2 in this tournament, unless they win this pistol round.
Playing it slow at the moment. You can see that they don't want to get caught by that Fnatic aggression, which was present towards A long. Now there's Kenny there, just up on the swing set. Not supposed to use swings in this manner, but it's Kenny, so we'll give him the exception.
Trivia: you can shoot that swing all the way around in a revolution, but it takes a while.
Now this is tough, isn't it? You got a Glock, you're a long range against USP. This feels quite dangerous from Kenny here. He does have his teammates, so moving up to try and basically pinch the position. So he was acting as a distraction. It's worked. Apex picks up Dennis, but now Fnatic start to rotate as the G2 push comes into A.
All the CTs are here. NBK peppering, poking, prodding, asking questions. Olafmeister with a nice headshot towards long. That is the two-pronged assault taken down. But the bomb's rotating away from the B bomb site, but will it go back because NBK's got himself a 2K. Crims and Flusher moving back. Crims making his way towards the bank position, it seems, so NBK is keeping them entertained. 30 seconds, and it's entirely plausible that G2 are still here, but no, they're in the B bomb site. Down goes the plant. Beat. Who's got the keys to the Jeep because it's time for Fnatic to drive towards the B and bring this round back.
And NBK, so much damage. 2 kills, he got the dink onto Crims as well. Really putting in some work here. It's going to make it very hard here for Fnatic because Flush is the only healthy player, and it's going to be the unhealthy one jumping down first. Apex able to get the kill there, finish him off, and it's just too much to deal with there for Flusher. Shocks with the last frag now as G2 pick up that pistol, that much needed pistol. And again, G2 are a team that are very capable of grinding the rounds back, and this could be a very close game. And it would be so interesting to see that after what was just a mental test. That first half seemed... There's not many halves in Counter-Strike that are harder to deal with than that. Like as you pictured it, you know, just get constantly reset. That's so hard, and they always only had pistols to work with.
G2 supporters will breathe a sigh of relief that the pistol round has been successful, but after the disaster that was Force Buys in the first half in general, will G2 suffer the same fate? Fnatic putting 3 towards B, 2 in the connector area. Close quarters, wanted, needed, yearned for by the Swedes. JW may go for a flank because he's made his way through connector. Confident man JW is. Shocks in his usual position, lurking outside the B bomb site. That's his job on the T side for G2. The rest of them doing one of the more common anti-force by anti-eco strats, which is presence on long, a pilgrimage towards the A bomb sites.
Slow and steady. This is a much more conventional anti-force buy here from G2 that you would more normally see compared to Fnatic's.
That is a lot of information for the CTs. Look at the rotation, thanks to JW's communication. Shocks has given a game away for his side, and the CTs are streaming in. So far, so good. Flush with 1 kill, but Body will trade. Can he hold down the bank position, though?
Yeah, it's a really tough situation to deal with here for the CTs, now stuck behind the choke points. And the bomb will go down. The flank has been spotted by Shocks as well. So G2 have all the information. They've got the weaponry advantage. Kenny with a very important frag there into bank, and that really essentially stops Fnatic from being able to make a good effort here. Again, they know that there's a flanker. You can see that Body and Shocks are both looking for him. They're aware that there's a player stuck around the stairs. And there it is. Body takes down JW. No flank now. Just down to Crims to get some headshots here. Perhaps with this Deagle, he'll give it his best shot, but it won't be enough in this occasion. Kenny with the kill and G2 with the round. And they have defeated the Fnatic, the very scary Fnatic force by... And now it should be smooth sailing. They can play against USPs. And with a round here, that'll be 7, James. And only 4 away.
6 plus 1 is indeed 7.
But then, you know, if you consider how the first half went, you know, it really changes the storyline.
It does. It does. It looks like the game was lost almost.
Yep.
In the first half, but now there is a ray of sunshine.
Ouch.
Olofmeister lives in regrets for this round. He is hightailing it out of the B bomb site entirely. He is shocked. He is psychologically harmed by that shot. 3 players here on the B bomb site for the CTs. Make it 4 with a player on a balcony, or pretty much 5. Dennis is there along with Olofmeister. There is not a single Molotov on the G2 team right now. They've got 3 smokes on this anti-eco round, but no Molotovs. Maybe they deployed one towards short B earlier, but right now they're pushing sites with no mollies. That is less than ideal. They've got flashes though, but Shox, he's expendable. He can go in and clear things out. Shox removing them one by one. He is building the cash. Perhaps he drops an AWP for Kenny. Monsieur Kenny S.
It's so fun being the guy that has the Mac 10 in that round when you're playing against the CT Eco. It's like, so your job is essentially to run at them and hold -1. Obviously, it's a little bit different in professional matches in some cases, but it's still a lot of fun. And indeed, we've got the 7-round scoreline here for G2 now, a mere 4 away from equaling Fnatic. And if they have success on this buy rounds, that can certainly lift the spirits of the Frenchmen, who were certainly experiencing quite some frustration, but exercising a great level of composure. But that aggression in connector, successful. Fnatic, not just on the T side will they go aggressive here, but the CT side as well. And it's worked out fantastically well, but there's still a chance.
God. What was that shot from Kenny S? Indeed, there is still a chance, but JW and Connector could flank these players. G2 are in a lot of trouble, 2 versus 3. They've abandoned the B bomb site in case the cavalry came in on the horses, waving the flags. That hasn't happened just yet, but JW's position is so strong. On the plus side for G2, they have a minute 15, which means they can walk everywhere. They can be rambling hikers. You saw in a previous round, Shox ran on the rotation when his team were pushing A, and it gave the game away. JW's in the same position, but Shox doesn't need to run.
He doesn't check. I wonder if this is something that JW just loves to do all the time now, because as you mentioned previously, we saw this from him. And it is so strong, isn't it? And you don't really see a lot of teams emphasize plays towards this position, and it could very well be part of the reason why Fnatic love to go connector in a lot of these rounds. 2
things are going to happen. Either this is a B play and Shox is clearing house, or Kenny's going to rotate towards Shox. JW's going to hear that, and then Fnatic are going to sit on the A site. Those are one of 2 things that are going to happen. It seems Shox will offer the fake. JW might go up the ladder as Shox goes down connector, but JW, he's flanking towards Kenny. Kenny's still waiting outside Monster, and if he goes through Monster, JW could get the perfect timing to completely ruin things. If he picks Kenny off, then that's the bomb. There might be no time left, 15 seconds now, and Shox knows that he's in a lot of trouble. JW doesn't know where Shox is just yet. The bomb's collected, but there's 10 seconds. CTs are on the site. He can't really plant the bomb now. Will Flusher wait for him? Oh, that is a high-risk plant attempt. Flusher has the angle. No plant. The worst has happened for G2, but they do have some money in the bank.
And this is interesting to me, because I'm really curious how often JW is going to try to make plays to that position. Because again, that's 2 times we've seen it now. And obviously, you know, it's so evident how many uses it has. I mean, you described a lot of them just now. So will that be something that G2 recognize as being some of the reason why Fnatic love to pressure on connector? Or will Fnatic start alleviating that pressure just because G2 will adapt more to that aggression and maybe go with a fast play towards A-long or something that can punish a forward play into connector? There's a lot going on here. As far as the mind games goes between these 2 teams and how you're playing strategically, there is a lot of stuff going on. And it looks like G2 will actually just play slow, and they are checking connector. They see no aggression so far. And a lot of this of how the round will develop will likely be dependent on what MBK can see down there. And if there's no one in connector, that's going to give MBK a good idea as to how Fnatic can be set up. And seeing no one here, it's like, okay, I know it's a more passive setup now. And they start to take map control towards toilets as well.
Shock's in his usual lurker position, but just with a Tech 9, so not much he can do at the moment. Perhaps he will pick up a weapon as this round progresses, and boy does it need to progress. 1 minute remains for G2. NBK harassing the connector area, Flusher returning fire. And there are grenades moving towards the A site. Now G2, after showing presence towards B, the entire team is here towards A. JW flash off the corner, repicks, and Kenyes is ready for him. Denez can't do anything about that, but 35 seconds remain. Crims has been left on the A site, on the B bomb site. Everybody rotating towards A, and Crims will have to join him as well because Fnatic are in trouble.
Yeah, not getting that kill there, Dennis. That's going to hurt a lot because in comes a swell of numbers here from G2. And that swell of numbers will survive. And the bomb will go down with 20 seconds to spare. Crim's just holding an aggressive exit here, but I doubt G2 will go anywhere that they haven't cleared. The money is low for Fnatic though, but it is also low for G2. So it's likely G2 will say, you know what, we can have that one gun. We want to maintain our economy here. We'll see though if they want to invest anyone. If it might be Shox who is coming. He's got 8 points of health. It's going to be a tough duel to win. Oh, it's all about timing, and Crims will get a good timing just in the end there. So another round here for G2, and so much hope. They've really created a game out of what was really one of the most desperate situations you can have in a half.
It's a nice grenade from Crims. I will remember that one. That's a cool grenade if you have an AWPer, for example, in short B who wants to peek on to blow the door off. That's another way to do it. JW going back to the angle. In fact, he tried to shoulder peek, it seems, but Kenny was ready, as Kenny almost always is. Kenny with 14 kills for his team, only behind Body and Apex, 15 and 19 respectively. The force buy from Fnatic, Olaf Meister going for the Mag 7. JW pulling out the French gun. Flusher will be on the CZ. One of the more potent CZ players is Flusher. The dominating lead from Fnatic reduced to 4 rounds. Everything looks delicate now. Shox on the Tech 9 only again, which is interesting. I think Body had 2200 before the last round ended. And in fact, there is money to... I think he's playing a longer economical game here, right? He could be dropped an AK, but he could just take a weapon from Fnatic. It seems they might have a read on a force buy, or if they think there might be an eco, then he can be expendable with just a Tech 9. Mac 10 would work as well, but this is a fine play from him.
And right now, Fnatic are experiencing a taste of their own medicine, James, because this is exactly what they were doing to G2 on the first half, getting those resets in, forcing G2 to play with pistols and all kinds of guns which you'd rather not play with, including the FAMAS. And so far it's still 4 players left here for Fnatic, and G2 are playing slow. There's maybe a chance. Olaf Meister can't get the kill though, and that's a big moment, because had he gotten a kill there, it really does shift the odds.
But we've got time pressure again. 30 seconds and they are not in a sight yet. There are still 3 players alive here for the Fnatic, 2 of which have rifles, and they're all on the B bomb site. Crims holding down short B. 20 seconds remain. Crims is still doing damage. JW will pick up where Crims left off. And how does he get the bomb down now? 16 seconds remain. Flush with the CZ 1 versus 1. Kenny with the AWP. How does he play the close range game? Seems he might know where Flusher is, but not certain about that. 7 seconds now. Flusher jumping around the corner, but he can't quite get the kill. 4 seconds. Kenny has the kill. He just about will. 3 seconds remain. The P250 doing the job, but boy, are these anti-force buys going down to the wire.
Flusher, he almost did it there, running out of bullets. Oh, the CZ. Great jump from him there as well to bait the shot, and to be honest though, you can often expect Kenny to hit that, but as you said, you know, he was running forwards, trying to pursue Flusher there, so very awkward, but Kenny, yes, winning that clutch. Apex is pretty hype. He's doing his best Magisk impression right there, just the hype man for the team. So much energy from the man, and we'll see how far that carries them here now as they are up against just USPs. They'll be on 10 rounds if they win this round, which they likely will. And that means they're only 2 rounds behind. And again, if you've been with us since the beginning, it's been such a grind for G2 to get to this point.
What a journey this would be if they were to win this match in such a fashion, in such a struggle, surely it would give them a nice boost moving into the playoffs. But Fnatic still in the lead for the time being. That lead looks to be narrowed as they don't bring much into this round, and the numbers are thinned out like George Costanza's hairline. Olaf, Crims and Flusher. Crims with a P250. One kill, the P250 pays for itself. And obviously he has the range for those one-taps. Sound cues. The door, opening the door obviously has its own sound cue as well, so he will try to pick his timing wisely. Apex gets his bell rung, but the church doors are closed. Moving forward now to the A-bomb site, doing everything. Crim's last man standing with that P250, but nothing doing. Everybody survives for G2, so if they have an accident in one of these rounds, then they can bring the money straight back once again. And that could be a problem for Fnatic, who will go for a timeout, a tactical timeout from Fnatic. It's buy time for Fnatic, 4,500 per, roughly per person. Now it's them who have that issue where if they win a round and lose the next one, like if they win a round with say 2 players alive or less, then lose the next one, G2 are suddenly in a really nice spot.
It's such a tense game, to be honest. And to see just the composure out of all of these players is really inspiring, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some kind of AWP shenanigans from Kenny. Yes, I mean, I feel as though when you're playing against Fnatic, I feel like there's nothing is standard anymore, because they can be an unorthodox team to play against. So we're not seeing some of the more normal rounds you would expect. Also, just the nature of how this works. But when we see a default from G2, they're actually going to once again put Kenny in connector. That's smart. Fnatic have put a lot of players to this position in many occasions in this map, much more than some teams would normally do so. And it's just JW there this time. And he's going to have 2 players coming his way. The trade will be set up, but he'll get out of dodge in the nick of time. Drop the smoke, get the info. That's good work from JW to stay alive here.
He did good damage as well. NBK's sub 50 HP. Dennis and Olafmeister are still in forward position, so Apex is looking for some kind of aggression. He's got the angle for both positions. So we'll keep an eye on how that plays out later on. But he's starting to move forward, and he may end up getting flanked. Olafmeister and Dennis. Stereo pushes from the Swede. Apex in trouble, but that must be a fast play from G2. 2 players in very forward positions. There's somewhere to exploit, but where? Is it A, is it B?
And you can see the mad dash here. Now they've lost their presence towards the A side of the map. They're very afraid that they'll miss their timing unless they go immediately. And you can see that they're rushing it so quickly. They have to hit shots under a lot of pressure here. Crims is holding it down. This is great work from him. Has he done enough damage here? Plenty of time to plant the bomb. Kenny can take a position at the back of the bomb site with that AWP. So it's going to be hard for Olafmeister and Dennis to get in here from Fnatic. And looks like they're going to try pushing here through the smoke into Body. Body gets nothing though. Down to Kenny once again with the AWP. This is such an important clutch for him to make now as he looks for the first shot. And these Fnatic players are playing this very cautiously. They know they have to set up the trade here. Where is Kenny though? He has to be quick as he goes around the smoke. Tech9 comes out. It's Olaf with the frag. Such an important round here from Fnatic, but just as you said, James, they must not get reset from this position.
Yeah, 2 players surviving. We did talk about that, but that's to me, that tells me that Fnatic players who are dead are looking at what's going on. They know Kenius is the last man standing. Instead of running around the slope towards the barrel position where Kenny's going to have massive advantages, they boost one of the players up and he goes over the top of the site. The other one jumps up there with a running jump, and that puts Kenny in a really nasty spot. He has no idea if the bomb's being defused or not. And let's not forget, Fnatic made a great play. Those 2 people forward, I mean, yes, G2 are trying to play the fast game while they're out of position, but with 3 players in the B bomb site, are they really out of position unless they make a play towards A? I don't think so. So it worked wonders for Fnatic, but yes, they were left with 2 players alive. They are in a precarious monetary situation, and G2, again, they have the cash for the full buy. It's a big round for both teams.
And we see a different setup from Fnatic here. They go for more aggression towards Sewers. And this really tells you a lot as the CTs early on that there is absolutely no presence there whatsoever. And they will back away eventually. So interesting that they decide not to hold on to that forward position. I would think that it would be very strong if you get it like that and there's no one around to actually hold on to it and to try to play off of that, maybe play defensively around A. And now G2 are looking to make their presence felt towards the toilets and A-long positions. Will Dennis get all that aggressive, or will this be as far forward as we'll see him go? That's likely the case. It's a great position. Can play those shadow advantages, and G2 are taking their time here. Trying to clear everything. Trying to do the best job in that sense. Dots all their I's, cross all their T's. But they're getting close now.
Ooh. csgo will not know how close he was. Imagine
Time.
Yeah, 25 seconds on the clock, and G2 are going to have to take massive gambles facing through the smoke. They're selling a fake though, but they've lost 2 players. It's a full rotation from the CTs towards the A site, but when this bomb eventually goes down, Dennis and Olofmeister are going to be on the flank. There's going to be all kinds of positions to defend from. Fnatic on the top, that's a bad miss with the Molotov, but Body, he's being tagged down to 20 HP, and again, the CTs are everywhere now. Olofmeister and Connector, Dennis from T-Spawn. Kenny making his exit, but he's looking the wrong way. It might be a free kill, but no! Just in time, but he's in the red now as well.
Fnatic waiting for that perfect moment to go in. Smoke onto short. Olofmeister is on short. That might actually be a really big distraction play. Nice there from Body. Catches the head of Flusher now, as we'll get the rest of Fnatic starting to scurry on into the bomb site. It's successful. Once again, it's Kenny. Another shot for him, but there's just surely no time to do anything against the trade fraggers. And indeed, the defuse will be there for Olofmeister. Fnatic, 14 rounds now. And G2, they did build a lot of cash, and they did get the bomb down in that situation. But that will become a concern in the future rounds now for them. And Fnatic, they're 2 rounds away from playing in the arena, James.
Imagine if this was a best of 3. What carnage we are seeing in this map. One of these teams has got to go. G2, they look relatively calm though. They've had some enthralling rounds, but they've lost 2 in a row. Indeed, they still have the money thanks to that plan. They still have the money to buy. But how do they make the difference? I'm still thinking about that round where Fnatic had 2 players deep towards A, and they pretty much sold G2 tickets to a show in the B bomb site and had 3 players there. That's a pretty strong hold with 3 players. I mean, they all got taken down ultimately, but here we are, 14 to 10. The buy out once more for G2. They've got loads of grenades, they've got their 4 AKs and the AWP. They've got pretty much everything they could want in this round, but now they need the round itself.
G2 being a bit faster towards the party area this time. MBK once again, we've seen them commonly checking out the connector area in middle. Looking for spots here, seeing if there is any sort of forward setup here from the Fnatic boys. Fnatic with a lot of presence towards A at the moment.
Crims is on an MP9.
Yeah, this could work out really well because he finds a great timing through the door there, taking down MBK. Oh my god! Another frag from the MP9 of Crims. What a menace. Now as Dennis tries to finish things off, and it's going to be Apex to take him down. So G2 still with a lot of time to work this pick.
JW dueling, spotting Apex towards long A, but not spotting the bomb. The bomb is with Kenny. I think Olofmeister must have heard his scope, but Body's coming in. Olofmeister cares not. That's a lovely 180 from Olofmeister, so fast, and that is surely Fnatic on match point, or is it? Apex has got 40 seconds. He knows where the bomb is, so do the CTs. Crims coming in for the flank. He's speeding towards the A bomb site. Crims just biding his time for the moment. He's upgraded his gun to an AK. Looking for Flusher now while there are warning shots from JW. You are not welcome on the A site. Match point Fnatic.
Yeah, and it's not just match point that G2 are playing against. They're also playing against a crippled economy. It's just Apex who really has any amount of money. There's enough to get grenades, Tech 9s, and armor, and they may decide to get maybe a rifle, drop to a rifle on a player here or there, but
look at this 180.
It's
Boom.
fantastic.
Awesome stuff from Olof.
But I would expect a fast round here from G2. I think maybe, was there an AWP drop? I guess we'll see in Aiming. No, there was not. Could have tried to go for that, but it would have left Apex without any armor. They've gone for full nades, Tech 9s, UMP. They're going to go for a rush, a Hail Mary play into the B bomb site. That's not what you want to see if you're G2. Losing shock straight away. Can they still make a rush work onto B?
Olofmeister making his way to the B bomb site to join his teammates. maybe he's not needed. Crim's holding down a short B area, and with what little G2 have left, they look to make a play towards the monster position. The flash goes them down, the Molotov makes it worse, and Flusher compounds the problem. Kenny alone with a Tech 9, he can't do it. 16-10 Fnatic, a very strong performance from them in both halves on Overpass. We thought the comeback might be on G2. They made it double figures, but ultimately they were denied. They will not make it to the playoffs. Fnatic are successful. Can they get back and win their next major? Is this the time?
They looked very strong indeed, and we've seen a refinement of their style, but their style is so unique. That did allow them to win 6 major tournaments back-to-back and at one point be the most dominant team in the world. It's been a while for them, but this is a good start back into it, and it's heartbreaking for G2 to match up against Fnatic. They're a team, again, that are so difficult to play against. It's never easy to prepare for them.
You can see the emotion on Kenny's face. He's trying to hold it all in at the moment. That is a brutal way to make your exit. Such a difficult match. It was so hard for him to deal with, round by round by round.